But why is nothing showing up? There we go. Lovely. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Let's see. Hi. It's been a long time, a long, cold winter. But we're back with more Saturday classes. So if this is your first time visiting or watching one of our Saturday classes from Cuffs, this will be 1 hour for me. Then there will be other professors after me, so stay tuned. Keep watching. After my video ends at 12 o'clock, more professors will come on the same channel. So what's going to happen is I'm going to teach. And as I'm teaching, please, please, please write in the chat room. I will respond to what you say in the chat. If you have questions, ask, and I will try to answer them the best that I can. I guess I should introduce myself first. My name is Professor Hollis. I'm with the English department at Cuffs, of course. And today we're going to learn about paraphrasing. So, paraphrasing. Let's look at what paraphrasing is. Oh. Hello, Hyeri Kim. I think that's how I say your name. Hyeri Kim. Okay, so paraphrasing. What is paraphrasing? Why is it important? And when do we use paraphrasing in our daily lives? Paraphrasing means to say something in a shorter way. So you take a big idea and you compress it, you make it smaller so that it is easier to understand, or at least quicker to communicate. So this is often useful for explaining a situation or explaining an idea. It's often, you've seen paraphrasing almost every day of your life probably, and you didn't even realize it. When you're reading about a new book or about a movie or a video game or anything that interests you, you're probably going to read a very short summary about what it's about. For example, when you try to explain what a movie is. If I were to explain the famous movie Jaws with the shark, I would say it's a movie about a shark that attacks people on this little island. That's the movie. The movie's an hour and a half long, but I just summarized it into about one sentence. Of course, we have to delete a lot of details, but we want to keep just the main idea when we paraphrase. So it's important because we can use paraphrasing, again, to communicate an idea quickly. And usually, but not always, the more that you understand an idea, if you understand it really well, it's easier to paraphrase. If you don't understand the idea, it's more difficult to know what are the main ideas, what are the details and examples that I don't need. So if you can explain something in a very short, simple way, it usually shows that you understand it very well and very deeply. Okay, so that is what paraphrasing is and why we use it and how we use it in our daily lives. But paraphrasing is also often used in academic writing, so for universities or for schools. If done correctly, paraphrasing is a useful tool to convey information in a concise way. Concise means short, simple, and clear. However, poor paraphrasing can appear to be plagiarism. Okay, before we look at an example, let me explain what that means. When you're writing academic papers, when you're writing a research paper, or even just a book report or something for a class, if you need to write a let's say you need to write a report about climate change. It's very common to get many different articles from the internet. So you can get an article from CNN, you can get an article from Wikipedia, you can get an article from BBC, and you will gather this information and write your own paper. But you will also be using some of the sentences and ideas from those articles. But you need to paraphrase them. If you copy and paste exact sentences, or worse, exact paragraphs from another article, that is plagiarism, if you don't cite the source. Even when you're paraphrasing, it's good to cite the source. But paraphrasing is important so it doesn't appear to be plagiarism. Someone just asked, what does convey mean? Let's go back to this. So it can, let me read this again quickly. Paraphrasing is often used in academic writing. If done correctly, paraphrasing is a useful tool to convey information. Convey means, yes, as Hyeri Kim said, to deliver or to show or to give information. It's just a very kind of more highbrow, formal word to say give or deliver or, pass on. Okay, so let's look at an example of poor paraphrasing and good paraphrasing. First, before we look at the paraphrasing, we need to look at the original article. So here I have an original article from ABC News, which is in the US. It is about Stan Lee, who many of you probably know, was one of the main artists and creator of stories for Marvel Comics. For example, he created Spider-Man and others. So here's an article about him. This is not paraphrased. This is the exact article. So let's read it, and then we can look at some paraphrasing examples, good ones and bad ones. Stan Lee, former editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics and the creator of beloved characters including Spider-Man, Iron Man, X-Men, and more, has died, ABC News has confirmed. Lee was 95 years old. Stan Lee was as extraordinary as the characters he created. A superhero in his own right to Marvel fans around the world, Stan had the power to inspire, to entertain, and to connect, said Bob Iger, chairman and CEO of the Walt Disney Company. The scale of his imagination was only exceeded by the size of his heart. Lee was an innovator, and his work with Marvel Comics was groundbreaking. No more so than as in recent years, with movies dominating the box offices involving his most prized characters such as Spider-Man, the Avengers, and X-Men. So this is from the original article. I have not summarized it. I have not changed words. This is it. Now let's look at some paraphrasing examples. Now remember what I said about paraphrasing. We don't want to copy exactly what they said. That's not what we want to do. So let's look at a poor paraphrasing example. Here is bad paraphrasing. Stan Lee, creator of beloved characters including Spider-Man, Iron Man, X-Men, and more, has died. Lee was 95 years old. Lee was an innovator, and his work with Marvel Comics was groundbreaking. His movies have dominated the box offices, such as Spider-Man, the Avengers, and X-Men. Why is this a bad example of paraphrasing? Well, we have simply erased information. That's all that we have done. Yes, some of these sentences are not exactly the same. So, for example, look at this last sentence. His movies have dominated the box offices, such as Spider-Man, the Avengers, and X-Men. Now, look at the original last sentence. Lee was an innovator, and his work with Marvel Comics was groundbreaking. No more so than as in recent years, with movies dominating the box offices involving his most prized characters, such as Spider-Man, the Avengers, and X-Men. So, yes, these sentences are different, but they're almost the same. I only erased information and made the sentences shorter. I did not really add my own thoughts. I didn't add my own words. Almost all of the original phrasing is the same. The structure is the same. The words are the same. Erasing information is not paraphrasing. That is not how paraphrasing works. So if this is how you paraphrase, I'm sorry, you need to get better at it. It's not just erasing information. Paraphrasing, okay, let's look at the word paraphrasing. So phrase is a group of words. That's what phrase means. Para, you can think of like parallel. So parallel are like two lines running side by side. So paraphrasing is basically saying something in a different way. It's running parallel. They're going the same direction, but they're on different roads. So they're pointing at the same information, but they're not saying exactly the same thing. That is paraphrasing. So if you're just cutting out some of the words, you're not making your own road. You're following the same road, just with a different car, I guess you could say. Okay, let's look at good paraphrasing. The creator of Spider-Man, Iron Man, X-Men, and more has passed away at 95 years old. Although most know him only for the Avengers movies, Stan Lee's earlier work with Marvel Comics was truly innovative. So yes, I have said some same words. I can't avoid it. Spider-Man, Iron Man, X-Men, I can't change those words. That's the names of the characters. But this is much shorter, and with paraphrasing, shorter is better, usually. You usually want shorter things. And it's more original. Sentences have been combined. Synonyms have been used. For example, let's look at the original. The original says that if you look at the first sentence, Stan Lee, former editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics and the creator of beloved characters including Spider-Man, Iron Man, X-Men, and more, has died. ABC News has confirmed. Lee was 95 years old. Instead of saying that Lee has died, I said that the creator of Spider-Man, Iron Man, X-Men, and more has passed away, not died, passed away. It's a synonym at 95 years old. And in the original, it talks about people knowing his characters, but I've changed it a little bit to say, although most know him only from the Avengers movies. That is not in the original article, I don't think. Let me check. No, but many people know him from that, but it's not in the original article. So I've added things, compressed information, it has gone through my mind, a filter, and I've changed it a little bit, added my own perspective on this article, used my own words. Although this contains nearly the same information as the earlier example, this example of paraphrasing contains far more changes that separate it from the original article. So these sentences are in different orders. I've combined sentences. I've added synonyms. I've added my own perspective on this. This is better paraphrasing. Let's see. Luna has 3 sons asks, is paraphrasing can be said as intralingual translation? I have never heard that term, intralingual. Let me see. Intralingual would be, give me just one moment. Yeah, okay, so intralingual, yeah. Intralingual would mean in the same language. So yes, you could say that it is a translation of the same language. Yeah, I guess you could consider it intralingual translation because you're translating someone else's writing into kind of your own writing, but keeping the same idea. So I would consider it intralingual translation. Heri Kim says, is it good to add my own idea with the same meaning, right? Yeah, you're basically, you don't want to venture too far away from the original article. Like if I'd started talking about, if I started talking about Superman and Batman, DC Comics, which is not Marvel Comics, that would be going way too far away from the original article because the original article is about Marvel Comics, not DC Comics. So yeah, you want to add your own ideas relating to the ideas that are already there. So basically, when you paraphrase, your brain, you have information, the original information coming into your brain is filtering it, changing it a little bit, then it comes out. Same idea, but different way to say it, with your way to say it. That is paraphrasing. So yes, use synonyms. Erasing information is not paraphrasing. Good. Yes, erasing information is not paraphrasing. Of course, you need to erase information. I want to make this clear. When you paraphrase, you do erase information, of course, because paraphrasing is condensing it. You're taking away the details and getting the really important stuff. So you are erasing information, but it's not only erasing information. You must do other things like use your own ideas, your own thoughts, your own words, synonyms. So it's erasing information and more, I should say. Okay, good. So here are some of my tips to paraphrase well, to be good at paraphrasing. First, cut out details and unimportant information. Aim to convey, there's that word again, convey the main ideas only. I've already mentioned this several times. You only want to show the main ideas. You really don't need to keep all the details. If you keep all the details, it's just going to be too long. You're going to have something the same length as the original article. And that's not going to work when you are writing a research paper or an academic paper, or even just writing a summary of a movie. If you tell your friend, if your friend asks, "Oh, you saw a movie last night. What was it about?" If you don't cut out details, your explaining the movie will take an hour and a half. So of course you have to cut out details, get only the main ideas. Next tip, mix up the information. Combine sentences. Don't include everything, not is. Don't include everything in the same order that it was presented in the original article. So yeah, like I did as well in my good paraphrasing example, mix up the information. Don't have it all in the same exact order. It just looks like you only cut out information and maybe use synonyms. That's it. That doesn't always work. Then you just look like a human thesaurus. You're just changing words to different synonyms. Combine sentences. Of course, when you are trying to make something shorter, you need to combine sentences and combine information. It makes it shorter. So yeah, don't include everything in the same order. So just mix up, combine, like you're cooking something. My next tip, of course, is use synonyms. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to use tons of synonyms. Your different sentences should automatically kind of do that if you're adding some of your own little bit of information. But yeah, like for example, I didn't say that Stanley died. I said Stanley passed away. That's a good example of a synonym. It's a synonym that most English readers wouldn't even notice because they're so similar. Okay. Now, we're going to practice paraphrasing. This is what we're going to do. We're going to practice paraphrasing. I'm going to show you that slide again in a minute because I know you were trying to read it. What we're going to do is we are going to paraphrase a movie or paraphrase a book in one or two sentences in the group chat. You're going to paraphrase the movie or book without using the characters' names. So let's see. And then we're going to try to guess what movie or book you're talking about. So, for example, I've given you the name. You shouldn't do this, but Harry Potter. Here's my short summary of Harry Potter. So, a young boy learns that he is a wizard and goes to school to learn magic, where he makes friends and has adventures. That's my short paraphrasing summary of Harry Potter. It could be the movie or the book. Some of these you can have fun with this. You can paraphrase or summarize a movie or a book or a TV show in a funny way. So I'll give you an example of a funny summary. Okay, I'm gonna write it in the group chat. What is this show, book, or movie? Okay, let me write it. This is my short summary of this book, movie, or show. And it is a high school girl falls in love with an old man, but he only wants to die. What? It's a funny example of this book, movie, or TV show. I don't want to tell you which one it is because that might give away too much information. A high school girl falls in love with an old man, but he only wants to die. So what am I talking about? Does anyone know what book, movie, or TV show I'm talking about? And I guarantee all of you know what this is. When I tell you the answer, you will all go, oh. And Jung Da-woon 76 has got it. Yes, this is my funny summary of dokkebi. It is dokkebi. I'm not going to try to write that, but the goblin. With, who's the actor in that? I can't remember his name. Oh, I can't remember. My wife loves him. You don't know dokkebi, the TV show, the Korean drama? I have no idea. Chen-yun says. Yeah, that's basically my funny summary. A high school girl falls in love with an old man, but he only wants to die. He wants that sword pulled out of his chest. Yeah, Gongyu. Thank you. That's his name, Gongyu. Thank you, Teenage Dream. Okay, now it's your turn. Please, 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 write a short summary, 1 or 2 sentences, of a book, movie, or TV show. Don't use the characters' names, and we will try to guess, or I will try to guess, what you're talking about. And while you are writing your own little summaries, I will try to think of some more examples, some more funny examples that you might know. Tinyun says, I know the drama, but I don't know the story of it. I mean, in the story, yes, she falls in love, and yes, he wants to die, but that's not the whole story. That's my funny summary of it. Yeah, so it can be kind of a funny summary. Let's see. Let me try to think of some more. And I'll put this slide up so you can look at the example of Harry Potter, so you can see how short it can be. But I want you to think of your own example of a movie, book, or TV show. Write a 1-sentence summary, put it in the group chat. I will read it, and I will try to guess what you're talking about. And while you're doing that, I will add some of my own summaries of movies or books. Let's see. Let me think. What is a movie that everyone knows? Let's see. I will wait for some of your thoughts, some of your summaries. Oh, here we go. First one. Good. In says, a man tells what happens in the world at 9 p.m. Is this just news? Is this just the news channel? Channel News at 9? I'm guessing this is just news. Or is this a real TV show or movie? I don't know. It sounds like just the news. That's my guess, the news. But I don't know if it's an actual movie. Yes, just news. Okay, good. That was a good one. That's an interesting one. Love Ding Dungi says, a story of a man who got stuck in one airport in the U.S. Oh, this is a great movie with Tom Hanks. This is, what's the name of the movie, though? Terminal. I think it's called Terminal, maybe. Is it Terminal? I think that's the name of the movie. I know it has Tom Hanks. That's a good movie. You could do a lot of movies with Tom Hanks. You could say the story of a man who got stuck on an island. Oh man, I'm trying to think of some movies that everyone knows and that I know. It's very difficult. Not so easy. Okay, I have one that, this is going to be hard because some of you might not know this TV show. Some of you might know it, but some of you might not know what this is. I'll give you a hint. It's a TV show. Kids fight monsters upside down. Oh, BB says Castaway. That would be he's stuck on an island. Yeah, not in the airport. But yes, Castaway. So what is my example? Kids fight monsters upside down. Can anyone guess? Oh yes, Pippi, good. Stranger Things. Good. Man, you got that hint fast. Kids fight monsters upside down. And if you know the show, you know why I'm saying upside down. That's a big part of the show, the upside down. Good. That's a good example. Anybody else? Can you give me some examples of movies or books or something that made you very interested or that you enjoy and that you like and you can summarize in one sentence? I'll give you another one. This one will be a book. Oh no, sorry. I'll do this. Wait, let me watch this one first. Why do I have to hold for review? Show. Okay. Luna has 3 sons. Said, an orphan boy becomes radicalized after a military kills his family. He gets into I already know what this is. This is great. He got into an ancient religion, joins a band of rebels, insurgents, and carries out a terrorist attack, killing over 300,000 people. I know what this is. Luna has 3 sons. It is one of my favorite movies, and I actually named one of my children after one of the characters. I'm gonna wait and see if someone else can guess this because Luna has 3 sons. That is such a good example. That's such a good example of a secret way to describe a movie. Can anyone guess what she's talking about? What Luna has 3 sons is talking about? Because that is such a good example. This is a very famous movie. An orphan boy becomes radicalized after a military kills his family. He got into an ancient religion, joins a band of rebel insurgents, and carries out a terrorist attack, killing over 300,000 people. Man, that's a good example. Can anyone guess what she's talking about? Then I'll get to the other examples. But I really want to do this one first, because that's so good. And I guarantee you guys know what this movie is. Or at least you've heard of it if you haven't seen it. Oh, yeah, Star Wars. That is Star Wars, talking about Luke Skywalker. Excellent. Good, that was a really good example. Yeah, Star Wars. Just like Star Trek. Not exactly. Let's see, Ko Myung-suk says, a little girl moved in the Pink Palace and found a tiny door in the living room where it led to another world with a button-eyed mom. I know what this is too. This is a book and a movie. Does anyone know what Ko Myung-suk is talking about? A little girl moved into the Pink Palace and found... Is it a Pink Palace? I don't remember that part. And found a tiny door in the living room that led to another world with a button-eyed mom. Has anyone seen this before or heard of this? Coraline, yes, Teenage Dream has it. Coraline. It is Coraline. Written by Neil Gaiman, one of my favorite authors. Good. Let's see. Let's look at the next one. Love Ding Dungi says, a drama that depicts the everyday work lives of Office in the U.S. You kind of gave away the answer. It's The Office. I have to guess. It's got to be The Office. Or it could be Parks and Recreation, which is another really good show about just office workers in the U.S. If you haven't seen it, Parks and Recreation, very good show. Good. You guys have some really good examples. Yeah, that Love Ding Dungi, that has to be The Office or Parks and Recreation. I'm not sure which one, but I think Office is more popular. Ooh, okay. Beep Beep says a K-pop boy band who won the Grammy Awards. That's got to be BTS, right? I don't know much about BTS, but I would assume that they won the Grammy Awards. Chung Da-woon seems to agree with me. BTS. I gotta say it's BTS. I can't think of anything else. Noon Jung says a poor man meets this rich girl in the big ship and they fall in love, but he died because the ship crashed. Oh, that's pretty easy. Does anyone know what Noon Jung is talking about? A poor man meets this rich girl in the big ship and they fall in love, but he died because the ship crashed. And Jung Daun has it again. Titanic, yes. Jung Jin-uk says, is Stranger Things is it a Netflix movie? Stranger Things is a TV show. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It is one of the top 10, I want to say top 10 Netflix TV shows of all time, maybe even top 5. Very good. I think there's 2 or 3 seasons right now. I think 3 seasons. I can't remember exactly. Very good show. Very, very, very good show. And they're working on the next season. It's coming out. But it's based in like the 1980s and 1990s. So it's kind of retro, kind of same kind of feel of like a Korean TV show like Ungdapara. If Ungdapara was like science fiction, fantasy, horror, that would be Stranger Things. If the characters in Ungdapara had to fight monsters, that would be Stranger Things. Okay, I'm trying to think of one more example I can show you guys that would be. I'm looking around my room to try to remember what books and movies I've read recently. Oh, it's been a while. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's see. This will be. This would be kind of hard. I don't know if some of you are going to know what this is, or know what the name of the show is in English, because it's not originally an English TV show. But I think maybe 1 or 2 of you will have heard about this. So let's see if you can guess what TV show I'm talking about. I'll write it down in the chat room. A boy and his friends must fight giants to save humanity. A boy and his friends must fight giants to save humanity. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? A boy and his friends must fight giants to save humanity. Do you know what I'm talking about? Maybe no one does. But it's a pretty popular TV show. Oh, see, I don't know the Korean name, so I need to copy this. The In's answer. Jingyoke Goyen? I don't know the Korean title. That's terrible of this show. Let me see if you're right. Yes, you're right. Yes. Jingyoke Goyen. That's the TV show. Yes. In English, it's called Attack on Titan. So I hoped at least one person would know what I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, that's a very simple way to summarize it. That, yeah, it's basically about these people fighting giants. There's a lot more to it. But yeah, Attack on Titan. Sky F has it as well. Luna Has Three Sons has another one. Let's see. A man's wife is brutally murdered, and his son becomes disabled. Moreover, his son is kidnapped, and the dad chases him for thousands of miles. And Oh my God, I know what this is. Oh, I didn't know at first. I was thinking, what are you talking about, Luna? Okay, I know what this is, and that is another. Oh, Luna, you have some great examples. That is another great example of a really kind of sneaky paraphrasing. Let's see if anyone can guess what this is. Oh, man. A man's wife is brutally murdered, and his son becomes disabled. Moreover, his son is kidnapped, and the dad chases him for thousands of miles, and a mentally disabled woman helps him. Oh, man, I know what that is. That's good. That's really good. Kimyohan Iyagi in Korean. Let me see if that's right. Seems right. Let me see what this is, because I don't know the title in English or in Korean. Oh, that's Stranger Things. You're talking about Stranger Things. Okay. Oh, you saw this summary from some website? That's a really good summary. Does anyone know what Luna Has Three Sons is talking about? A man's wife is brutally murdered and his son becomes disabled. Moreover, his son is kidnapped and the dad chases him for thousands of miles and a mentally disabled woman helps him. And Sky F has the answer. Finding Nemo. That's right, Luna. Is that right? Yeah? Finding Nemo. Man, that's such a good example. That is such a good example. Finding Nemo, yeah. Oh, these are some good ones. Okay, we'll do this for 2 more minutes, then I have to continue with the lecture. That's a good one. Let's see. Let me try to think of one. A man really likes old things and will go anywhere and fight anyone to get these old things. This is my own summary. It's not a great summary, but this is my summary of a famous movie. A man really likes old things and will go anywhere and fight anyone to get these old things. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Indiana Jones in has it. Yes, that's Indiana Jones. And Indiana Jones, he really likes antiques, artifacts. And he'll go anywhere and fight anyone to get these artifacts, these old things. Indiana Jones. Okay, I have one more. I have another one for you. A group of 9 people spend a long time returning jewelry. Okay, let's see. Ulin Inina S says, a new queen can use her power to turn things into ice. Well, that's a very good movie. That's Frozen, right? With, what are their names? Oh, Elsa, right? I think. Yeah, I think Ulin's is Frozen, I think. Did I miss any? Avengers, no. Ocean's 9, they don't return jewelry. I think they steal jewelry. I'm thinking of something else. A group of 9 people spend a long time returning jewelry. A long time. I think Natalie has it. Yeah. The Banjie Tewang. In English, Lord of the Rings. They have to return the ring. They have to throw the ring into the fire. That is Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that's my terrible summary. Okay, I have one more. Seriously, this is the last one from me. You can add some more if you like when you think of them. A drug-addicted girl takes advantage of a mentally challenged boy for most of her life. Again, this is a movie that you all know. Oh, Teenage Dream says, my precious. Yeah, Lord of the Rings. So this is my last one. A drug-addicted girl takes advantage of a mentally challenged boy for most of her life. And this is a very tricky way to summarize, paraphrase this movie. But can anyone think about what this is? Oh, and Love Ding Dungy says, a couple who is falsely accused of a murder case on their travels. Oh, this is one I don't know. A couple who is falsely accused of a murder case on their travels. Okay. Oh, finally one has me stumped. There's finally one that I don't know. A couple who is falsely accused of a murder case on their travels. Ooh. I have to ask for some clues from Love Ding Dungy. Is this a new movie, an old movie? I don't know what it is. Give me a clue. I'll give you a Lucy. Is it Lucy? That's a famous movie. I don't know. I really don't know. Olive Kyungko says Thelma and Louise. I've never seen that movie, so I don't know. That sounds like it might be it, but I don't know. I'll give you one more clue from mine though. The mentally challenged boy does everything right, even though he is incredibly... No, okay, that's what I'm going to say. The mentally challenged boy is the stupidest smart person. That's my other clue for my movie. The mentally challenged boy is the stupidest smart person. Queen's Gambit. What are we talking about for Queen's Gambit? It's a very good show, Queen's Gambit. If you haven't seen Queen's Gambit, wow, that's good. But who are you replying to, Ichua? I don't think that's not my answer. I don't think it's the couple who is falsely accused of a murder. So I'm not sure what that is. Wow, two of these that are really hard. Again, mine is a very famous movie as well, but wow. Love Ding Dungy, I don't know. I think you're going to have to tell us because I have no idea. Falsely accused of a murder case in their travels. I don't know what that is. And I want to know. Yeah, give us more clues. I guess I can give a clue too. This is too big of a clue though. This is too much. Hint Jennifer Aniston. Oh, then this must be like a newer movie. Oh, see, I don't know this movie. I don't know what this is. That's the problem. I haven't watched any new Jennifer Aniston movies. So I don't know. So you're going to have to tell us because I have no idea. I think Luna Has Three Sons kind of knows what it is, but doesn't know the title. Murder Mystery. Is that the name of the movie? Murder Mystery? I'll try to check it out. If it's a good movie, I'll check it out. Mine is such a famous movie. You guys all know this. The mentally challenged boy loves shrimp. He loves running. He loves... What else does he love? He loves his mama. There we go. There we go. Finally someone has it. Luna Has Three Sons. Forrest Gump. Yes. Forrest Gump. That's mine. A drug-addicted girl takes advantage of a mentally challenged boy. Because his girlfriend, oh, what's her name? Now I can't remember. She's always addicted to drugs and has such a hard time. Yeah, Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. Oh, Maze Runner. That would have been a really good summary. I didn't even think about that. Or you could say like a girl volunteers to kill 22 other people while a whole country watches. This is an easy one. But I'm going to move on. So I'm going to move on because we only have 15 minutes left. But a girl volunteers to kill 22 other people while a whole country watches. What am I talking about? This is a book and a movie. So that should make it a little bit easier. But let's move on. We got to keep going. So I have some Okay, first I have a quote about paraphrasing from Tim Ferriss. He says, short, sweet, and to the point. Short, sweet, and to the point. That's like concise. Concise means short, sweet, and to the point. Clear writing and therefore clear commands come from clear thinking. Think simple. So when you're paraphrasing, think simple. Think about the simplest idea. So, for example, my last example of a movie and book, a girl volunteers to kill 22 other people while a whole country watches. I've made the idea of this movie and book very short and simple. So, can you guess what I'm talking about? My clues are volunteer. If you know the book or movie, you should know volunteer. It's a very important thing. Yes. Go Myung-suk has it. Hunger Games. That was my final example. Hunger Games. Okay, now let's look at a few phrases and words you can use when you are paraphrasing, either paraphrasing when writing or paraphrasing when talking. So first, let's look at some words that we can use when we're talking. So when you're trying to talk about something in a short, simple, paraphrased way, you can start the phrase by saying, in a nutshell. In a nutshell is a very informal way to say, in short, in summary. When you're writing a paper, you would say in short or in summary or to sum up. But when we're talking to our friends, we don't really say that. We would say in a nutshell. So my example sentence is, in a nutshell, Stan Lee was a genius who created a number of superheroes who continue to inspire after his death. So in a nutshell is a very informal way to say in summary, to sum up. Yeah, in conclusion. So that is in a nutshell. In other words, you can use this to explain an idea in different words, which is exactly what we're doing when we paraphrase. So this is a good thing to use. You could say this in writing or in speaking. I think this is often used in speaking. We would say in other words to make things simple. You could also say, I'm going to write this in the chat because I don't think this is in my PowerPoint. I checked it this morning. I don't think I put this in there. You can say in layman's terms. In layman's terms, so a layman means a normal person, a person who is not in a special field, a special career. So lots of careers, lots of big jobs like doctor or, most jobs have their own lingo, their own words that normal people don't use. So even I, as an English speaker, when I'm watching an English TV show about hospitals, I don't understand everything the doctors are saying because they're using some very big medical words that I don't know. I never learned them. I didn't go to medical school. So I don't know these big words. So when someone like a doctor is trying to explain a very difficult concept with lots of big words that another person might not understand, they might try to simplify that idea, paraphrase it in very simple words that anybody can understand. And when they do that, they will say in layman's terms. So in layman's terms is a way to begin a summary that is going to explain a very difficult topic using very simple words. So that is in layman's terms. So if someone is trying to explain a topic to you, but they're using really big words from their field of expertise that you don't understand, you can say, can you explain it to me in layman's terms? Can you explain this to me like I'm a child, basically, because I don't know what you're trying to say. So that's another good one, in layman's terms. Let's look at another one. As reported by, this is good when you are writing, when you're writing a paper. So you can use this to paraphrase a newspaper article or news story. Remember I said that you don't want to plagiarize. So plagiarize is using somebody else's words as your words and saying, yeah, I wrote this. These are my words. That is lying because you didn't think of those words. Someone else did. So you need to cite the source. I'm going to write this. cite the source. You must cite the source, which means that you must explain where this idea or where this information came from. Where did you learn this? And one way to do this is to say, as reported by. So if I learned something from Wikipedia, I could say, as reported by Wikipedia. If I learned something from KBS, I could say, as reported by KBS. You just explain where it came from, where you read it or heard it or saw it. As reported by. Very important when you're writing papers. Similarly, you can say related that. It's almost the exact same thing. I know that related, you usually think that related means a relationship, like a brother, sister, parent, grandparent. These are people that you are related to. But related can also mean to like say something or to explain something. But really only when you're speaking formally. So I wouldn't use this in conversation. But if you're writing a paper, if you're writing maybe an academic paper or a school paper, and you find that you're using maybe as reported by, or in other words, too many times, you're using these phrases too much, and you want to use some different words, different phrases, you can say related that, which is almost exactly the same as the other one. So ABC's News related that Stan Lee had been a much loved artist before his death. So this is just another way to say as reported by. It's pretty much exactly the same thing. Just a different way to say it. English loves to have different ways to say the same things. In English, we hate repetition. We don't want to hear the same thing again and again and again. So you have to think of different ways to say the same thing. Okay, it is said that. This is a phrase you can use to paraphrase an idea from an unknown source. So if you've heard an idea, but you don't know where it's from, you can say it's said that. For example, I've heard many times that money can't buy happiness. I've heard that many times. Money can't buy happiness. I don't know who originally said this. I don't know where I heard it the first time. So I can say, if I'm writing a paper, I can say, it is said that money can't buy happiness. So this is a phrase you can use to introduce an idea from an unknown source. You don't know, it could be a well-known idea, and you just don't even need a source because everyone knows this. So here's my example sentence. It is said that many people love superheroes. Yeah, that's a general idea. Let's see. Okay, let me get this straight. This is often used in conversations. You might even hear this in movies and TV shows. We use this phrase to introduce your paraphrase of the other speaker's idea. This phrase is usually a little rude, not super rude, but it's a little bit rude because when you use it, you're usually, not always, but you're usually saying that the speaker's idea is crazy. So maybe you're talking to your friend and your friend says something that you just can't believe. Like, wait, what? Did you really just say that? You can say, let me get this straight. And then you paraphrase in your own words what the other person said. Yeah, as Bak Dae-sung said, paraphrase simply without jargon. That could be, you could be talking about this, or you could be talking about layman's terms. Both would be without jargon. So let me get this straight. You're kind of saying that what the other person said is crazy, and I'm going to now paraphrase it, what you just said, to show you why it's crazy. So here's my example. Let me get this straight. You want me to buy your lunch and finish the project for you? Have you lost your mind? So if a friend says something ridiculous to you, something that makes you say, oh, 어이없어요. You just can't believe they said it. You can say, let me get this straight, and then paraphrase what they said to show them how crazy it is. Let me get this straight. Okay. I have a few more minutes. We need to go fast. What you're saying is, we can use this phrase to introduce the paraphrase of the speaker's idea. So this is the same thing as before. So when we say, let me get this straight, you're paraphrasing the other person's idea because you think they're crazy. But when we say what you're saying is, this is paraphrasing the other person's idea to see if you understand it. You don't think they're crazy. You're not sure if you understand what they're saying. So you kind of 70%, 80%, you think you know what they're saying, but you want to check. You want to confirm if they are saying what you think they're saying. So my example is, what you're saying is that we can save more money if we switch health insurance companies. So if your friend says something to you, not crazy, just normal, but you don't exactly understand what they're saying, you can say, what you're saying is, and then paraphrase what they just said to confirm if you understand them. So these are real ways that we use paraphrasing in real life. Okay, this is another one. This is exactly the same as the previous one. The previous one, what you're saying is, we are paraphrasing the other person's idea to confirm that we understand. Same here. So if I understand you correctly, you're saying, again, we use this phrase to introduce your paraphrase of the other speaker's idea. Use this to check your understanding. So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that we can save money by switching health insurance companies. It's the exact same thing as previously. So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that. That is the phrase. Just confirming that you understand. I'm sorry I'm going fast, but I'm running out of time. Again, this is exactly the same thing. If I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying, this is, again, use this phrase to introduce your paraphrase of the speaker's idea to confirm you understand. So all three of these are the same. If you have, what you're saying is, so if I understand you correctly, you're saying, and if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying. These are all exactly the same. So here's my same example sentence. If I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying we can save money by switching health insurance companies. You are paraphrasing the other person's idea to confirm understanding. That is all. And again, another one that is exactly the same. As I told you, English speakers, we like having different ways to say the same thing. So what you mean to say is, again, for the fourth time, this is just a phrase we use to paraphrase another person's idea to check for understanding. So what you mean to say is that we can save money by switching health insurance companies. So those are all ways that you can paraphrase another person's idea to confirm understanding. And I have completely run out of time, but that was the end of my PowerPoint, end of my class, so good timing. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a few things about paraphrasing. I'll be back with you next week, I believe, but don't go anywhere. There are more professors coming up on the same channel all the way until I think 4 or 5 o'clock today. So there's a lot you can learn if you stay tuned. Thank you again. I'll see you later. Have a good weekend. Bye.